Oh, well, follow my tweets. We've been looking very good for the last few weeks, setting things up. Everybody is anticipating the news to come out from Richard himself, which nobody really knows the timeline. I am personally expecting between 4, 6 to 8 weeks before hopefully it's go, go, go. So that for me is really bullish on obviously price. Now, I do a lot of traveling at the moment, so I'm pretty limited with what I can do on the chain. But prior to this stream, I had a couple of hours spare, and we caught a bit of development inside of the chain, the activities, some of the big wallets that are being a little bit naughty, I'd say. And obviously, price is showing you what exactly is going on. So I believe it was probably about 2 hour and a half, 2 hours ago, something like that. There was a fairly large end stake of about 18 million. Now I'm going to do some of this just without looking at my screen, just to keep flow going well. So the numbers might slightly vary a little bit, but in ballpark numbers. So there's an actor, a player who we've started. That's why this stream's a little bit late today, guys, because suddenly something happened and we had to jump on top of it and try to orchestrate. Okay, how exactly are we going to describe what is going on? And we needed a bit more data and a bit more time for this actor to actually start maneuvering to show what his cards actually are. So unfortunately, he pulled out the 18 million and quickly dumped it within about a 30-minute space. And that is why the price has taken a bit of a slide at the moment. Now, I'm just going to, we're not going to coat anything with sugar, no cherries on top, nothing nice. The guy has another 127 million HEX due out today. And again, while we were still back in the green room discussing things, there was about a 30-minute wait between them unstaking that one as well. So we're in a little limbo. We're trying to do a bit of background check on what his previous actions have been, when exactly it was that he got in. So the 18 million that he sold, or she sold today, was a 28-day stake. So that was actually bought. When was it that I told you, Axis?
June 22nd. Price traded between 3.5 cents and 5 cents roughly. I think, let's see. Let me double check to make sure.
So we estimate that they probably bought it around 4 cents, something around there. And they've then sold it up at about 5.7. So this could have predominantly been
actually, yeah, you're right.
intention of purchase.
4 to 4.2 cents. So this guy's up on this bag, maybe, 40% potentially.
Yeah.
So I think just to be really clear, that could just be like some short-term profit taking to get that nice profit on that bag, secure that bag, and then that maybe that with this larger bag, it's not really as much of a threat as it looks like.
Yeah, and the other aspect to look at it is they've bought at a certain range, they've let the price go up, they're selling what they deem to be of a high value, potentially some sort of local top or a decent range. Because they've bought previously and they've sold higher, sometimes this can be very beneficial inside of the market space. Most people will look at it negatively, saying, okay, he's bought, he's sold, he's made profit. But we know that they're a staker. They have multiple stakes. They've got other stakes in the couple of 100 million in 2025, 2024. So they're a very large account inside of the ecosystem. Now, I personally have good vibes with people that can time certain highs and then reacquire lower to then re-increase momentum, and basically absorbing a lot of sellers that are in there just as flippers and traders, whereas this guy may be on accumulation, trying to create more and more. So if there is an assumption that price draws down now, maybe they want to re-enter back down at the 4, which is going to give them a lot more buying power. It's going to take up a lot of the bad actors who don't stake, who aren't involved in the system. And that's a good way of transitioning the very weak hands, paper hands that don't support into the ones that do. So this could potentially be a very beneficial shark that is going to extract out of the trader's hands. However, we need to wait a little bit to see what they are intending to do with this 127 million. Personally, if they were going to dump, they would have removed both of these stakes at the same time because they were both due today, but they only pulled one and then sold one. That gives other people opportunity to sell, but it also gives up opportunity for market recovery should they want to pull the other one and sell the other one. So that's why this stream is a little bit delayed, because we are waiting just to see what happens. And they're probably tuning in now as well, listening to our analysis and probably laughing at ourselves, saying, you got no idea what you're talking about. This is what I'm going to do. Boom. Okay. So let's give it a bit of time. But personally, I think they're going to restake it. I think they're happy with the move they've done. I think they've done actually very well. And if the price does retrace, it does create a bit of panic, a bit of uncertainty. There's nothing wrong with creating that. And the bigger accounts have the power to do that, which is why they can push markets in certain direction. So what will completely fuck up his plan is obviously if the market maintains buy support into what has been sold. Now, we understand that the Bitcoin markets they're taking a little bit of tumble. We understand that there's certain figureheads out in the space right now that are saying price go down. And one of the biggest factors that HEX has that they don't is obviously the post-chain launch, which is why currently it's having the decorrelation aspect in the marketplace. So it doesn't actually help having large players sell. But at the same time, it helps when they sell because they become more diluted over time. And they might make profit in the near term. But if things maintain, now they lose a lot more of that power as price potentially rallies out, which might draw them into having to sell part of that 127 if their intention is to pull it down to a lower range, create a lot of fear in the market to get all you guys out there now to sell your coins. And then he's going to take your coins back from you. So the question is, are you going to be susceptible to that type of movement? Or are you going to understand that in the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, however long it takes for post-chain to come out, there's going to be an astronomical rally coming out the other side.
I mean, it's undeniable, man. Like everything that in cryptocurrency right now is saying that the bottom's in and things are looking bullish. So, like any kind of sells that come in right now are going to easily be absorbed. There's so much liquidity sitting behind price. There's maybe like a few small actors that really wants to just take some short-term profit, but I really don't see it as being like long-term effective. And when we compare this chart to Bitcoin in a few minutes, we'll really kind of give you guys a time frame for how long until we're really blasting off in the most bearish of conditions.
Yeah, let me just add on to that one, okay? So we definitely have a bit of a split in community about price, whether some people think it's a bull trap type move that's going in the market. There's a lot of people that are manipulated by social construct, social organization of big people moving bigger balances. There's a lot of leverages that you don't really see what they're actually up to inside of the larger coins. But if there's a big drive in pressure that's coming down, I still think there's a high probability that HEX can maintain and hold. So the question is, do the big people in power now inside of HEX get swayed mentally by negative externals, which in reality, in the next couple of weeks, maybe nothing. So nothing better is than those people losing their coins at low ranges I'm pretty sure this is a low range, which is why I'm talking so
Yeah.
confidently about it.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate event that we see today, but over time, the
Yeah. The time
objective
frame's
is
everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
over time, the objective is to remove as much balance from the high tier wallets into many people below them. So in the short, it may look not so good, but in the long, there's nothing better than these guys dumping very large amounts. And when me and Axis, we'll talk about this shortly, about the liquidity ranges, different price aspects, how things can bounce, the different limit order ranges, stuff like this. We'll come across that shortly. But what we need to focus on is what is coming down the pipeline, and not to lose focus no matter what is happening in the market. Doesn't matter if Bitcoin's doing this, doesn't matter if Ethereum's doing this. We, in the next 12 months, are going to be in a league of our own. And then it's going to be a case of where are you positioned in that? Because this is probably the last window of time that you have to actually acquire a lot. So generally what, and Axis can show you in a second, maybe you bring up the chart now, Axis, of when there was massive red wicks down, when big players sell 100 million type coin moves.
Yeah. Well, first, yeah, we will. To your point is over the last 7 days, HEX is decoupling away from the rest of the market. You can see here in this correlations matrix how 13% of the time, if Bitcoin's going down, HEX is going up or holding its position. And 16% of the time, if ETH's going down, HEX is going up or holding its position. So right now, HEX is effectively decoupling away from not only Bitcoin and ETH, but even Hedron. It's doing it's beating to the sound of its own drum, and it's just it's starting to show the signs of life. And a lot of that is due to major players that are supporting price and putting up liquidity, and the major sentiment shift, and really just like the thousands of new eyes that are on the asset. And so there's just a unique moment, right? So back to your question about the wicks, I think, maybe we go